one, and we are live again. Unlike Manchester United's European hopes. In your face, Man United fans. Energy. Alex, how are we doing?
Oh, well, great. I mean, you took my line. I was going to say the exact same thing, so motherfucker.
Can say it again. We're now demonetized because you swore in the first 3 minutes, but that's fine.
Don't worry about that. How are you doing this evening, Louis?
Yeah, I'm all good. It's always good to see United, I say, knocked out of the top European competition. They are still in Europa, so Thursday nights for them, I guess.
Enjoy.
Thursday nights Europa, where teams go to die.
What have you been up to? How are you feeling? You all right?
Yeah, I can't complain. Whenever Man United lose, there's a bit of me that jumps for joy because I grew up with Manchester United winning all the time. So seeing Manchester United fall apart, Ollie at the wheel, it's fantastic.
Do you know what was great about the result as well? Is that Leipzig went 2-0 up and then 3-0 up. And then they had that glimmer of hope when they brought two back. So for 10 minutes, they all thought, maybe, just maybe. But then it just didn't happen.
It didn't happen. And that's what made it even better.
Even better.
I mean, guys, yeah, since we're on Manchester United, we might as well carry on the conversation. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is he gone if they lose on the weekend in the Manchester derby, Josh?
I think he's gone anyway. It's upsetting that he has to leave, but I think Manchester United are just a rudderless ship at the moment. I think you look at our team, and from the owners down to the bloody ladies who make the tea, everyone is going in the same direction. But I look at Manchester United, and I just think the board only care about their global brand, which still hasn't done any damage at all. You've got some mediocre players who, you look at the Manchester United team, it's just not good, man. There's just terrible players. And then you've got an even mediocre club manager who's just terrible. Like, it's gonna, even if they get like a Pochettino, they're gonna have to spend a lot of money. But they've already spent money. It's the silly argument that Manchester United don't spend money, and I think that's they just buy badly. That's what it is. It's not like they don't spend money. They just buy badly. Do you know what? You could probably say it started under Ferguson, to be honest. They had a lot of duds under Fergie. Like, I'm saying after.
Wait, what?
Yeah, man. Look, after that 08-09 season, look, Fergie's last best signing was Van Persie. Yeah.
Van Persie when they won the league.
But there was a lot of other terrible signings. And then he left the Manchester United team in a terrible condition. And David Moyes made it worse. They should have probably stuck with Mourinho. Terrible condition, man. Hold on. What did Van Persie do after that season?
I don't even remember.
Nada. He left them in a terrible position.
He left them in a terrible condition. We're straying away from how rubbish United are. But keep talking about how rubbish they are now.
But this is what it is, though. I think it's just bad decision making for a very long time at Manchester United. And even if they do get Pochettino, it's not going to change because the other teams are light years ahead of them. Look at Spurs right now. Light years ahead of Man United right now, man.
Fair enough, Josh. Fair enough. I mean, obviously, towards the back end of last season, United looked like they were on a roll. They had a really good attacking quartet in Rashford, Greenwood, Fernandes was on fire. Martial was doing a decent job as the number 9 up front. Alex, is it as bad for Man United as Josh is making out, or one or two tweaks here and there? Could their season be turned around?
I feel like it's one or two tweaks. There is a big argument about whether Ollie is the man to take them to the next level. I think, didn't someone say in earlier episodes that United would finish second this season?
That was me.
Who? Oh yeah, it was you, wasn't it?
That was me. I'll own up to it.
United to finish second. I mean, they were never going to finish. I mean, I put them top 4 anyway, so even that's looking in jeopardy. But I don't think they're as bad as everyone makes out. It's just, it seems that he is a bit whatless in the teams that he's picking and the tactics that he is choosing. Obviously, some of the stuff that the players are doing doesn't help. You know, Pogba, obviously the big glaring one. His agent's words lately doesn't help at all. But I mean, I've said this before, that their team isn't that bad. Josh said they're all mediocre, but they're hardly terrible. You know, you've got De Gea, again, one of the better keepers in the Prem. You've got Harry Maguire, even though he's not
Not anymore.
He is one of the better players. He's at least top 8.
Oh, Jesus.
That was a short stretcher now.
Well, I mean, Matt, like this season, Manchester United, despite their inconsistency, have had some big results, haven't they? They've
Yeah, exactly.
Leipzig earlier in the season, 5-0. I believe they beat PSG.
How far are they
Yeah,
off top 4 as well? Like, there must
latest
not be that many points.
1-2-1. I think they're only about 5 points behind top 4 with a game in hand.
No, that's not even that. I think they're even closer than that. I think they're 2 points off. If they win their game in hand, I think they're 2 points off the top. But in saying all of this, there's a lot of ifs in that. And also, in saying this as well, Manchester United, remember, we grew up with Manchester United being the best team in the land, if not one of the best teams in Europe. They look so far away from that right now. And it comes from, again, their manager being very, very needy. He's a mediocre guy, and he never should have got the job. They should have stuck with Mourinho, but they decided not to. They should have given Mourinho complete reign. Whatever Mourinho wanted, they should have gone with it, and they didn't. And this is what
it depends. It depends on your expectations for them for the season, though.
I expected them to finish second.
Yeah, well, that's just wrong.
No, but if you look at their finish of last season, they were one of the top teams, one of the informed teams.
Yeah, but I get that. But they're still within it with a chance to finish top 4, and they still have a decent squad.
I think.
What's it exactly, Louis?
Yeah, we've done them a bit of a disservice. They are actually on 19 points with a game in hand. If they win that game in hand, they go past Leicester and joint third actually with Chelsea. So they are.
There you go.
In and around.
But any Manchester United fan who said they're happy with what they're seeing is a goddamn liar. And like I said, I grew up with Manchester United having such stability on and off the field, and they don't have that right now. So it's either the owners had to take a hard look at themselves and say, do you know what, it might not be worth the aggro, but they'll never say that. Or the owners just give it to, they get a proper sports director in and they get a proper manager in. Stop with this meaty stuff, man. Like I'm not even a Man United fan, but I look at their team and maybe I was a bit harsh. There's a few players in there. Martial's never lived up to potential. You've got Rashford, who's hot, and then he's an MP and then he's not doing anything. Just runs in the same direction. He's not improved as a player. Pogba doesn't get a game. Van der Beek doesn't get a game. Their midfield is so terrible. McTominay. Hold on. McTominay.
Terrible.
Terrible. It's terrible. Out of the top six, they got a worse midfield. They got worse midfield in the top 6. Because remember, Pogba's not starting anymore. Pogba doesn't start. Van der Beek doesn't start. So you have Bruno with Fred and McTominay in the middle. Now, would Fred or McTominay start for any of the top 6 teams?
I mean, I never look at it as just the starting 11, though.
Would they even start for the top 10 teams? No, but...
What kind of statement is that? That doesn't make any sense.
But this is the thing, though. Like, Manchester United, as a football team, always had the best players, always had the best team. They don't even have... I look at their team right now. I take Leicester's team over Man United's team every day of the week. Every day of the week.
No, you can say that, but then if they win their next game, they're above Leicester.
I don't care.
So it's like...
But it's a long season. And like this,
I'm saying it's a knee-jerk reaction from you to say that their midfield is terrible. I mean, they can't be that bad if they're going to go and leapfrog Leicester in the season. You know,
no.
It can't be that bad, and their team can't be that bad.
They just got knocked out of Europe, Alex.
That many points.
Alex, they just got knocked out.
Guys. Anyway, let's not dwell on Manchester United for too long. Let's talk about Paul Pogba. He's come out and said he wants to. His agent Mino Raiola has actually come out and said that his player is unhappy and likely going to leave Manchester United. Alex, thoughts, reactions on that one?
Where's he gonna go? Who actually wants Paul Pogba at the moment?
Real Madrid.
Do they want... Oh, yeah, actually, they're in shambles at the moment. Modric is on the way out, I guess. They're all aging in that midfield. Yeah, I mean, it could fit. What kind of timing is that, though?
PSG. Anybody would take Pogba. Like...
Really? On his wages? With that much disruption?
Anybody would take Pogba. We need to be realistic about this. This guy's a World Cup winner. He's an outstanding midfielder. And he's just been... And when he was under Mourinho... He had an amazing season, got like 16 goals and 8 assists or something like that from the midfield. Like, Paul Pogba is just... exactly
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's bad in any way. I'm just saying, like, what are his genuine options right now? And if they are Real Madrid and PSG, then fair enough. But it's like, what
Even
Why would you
Barcelona.
do it now?
No. But this is what's his name? Raiola? Is that his name?
Yeah,
He's
Mino
a
Raiola.
Mino Raiola.
yeah.
The
He's
timing
a.
of it is shocking.
It's disrespectful. That's what it is, and that's what I said.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Manchester United, big football teams, you don't get run by a player's agent. And I know he's a big time agent. He's the agent of Haaland. Probably why Haaland never went to Manchester United. But I know Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp's come out and said apparently like I never want to deal with him. I never want to deal with this guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those ones where they've done this just before a massive game as well. Like Paul Pogba, you could have done this better. And you're not going to get a move in January. But I think he's got one more year left on his contract.
That's why I said, why is he doing it? I mean, doesn't make sense. Do you reckon Pogba signed off on it, or the agent's just doing his work?
Jamie Carragher said yesterday, if he didn't sign off on it, he should sack him. And it's true. If he didn't sign off on it, he should sack him. So of course he did.
What if he agreed with it? Or if he agreed with it, though?
That's what I'm saying. Of course he did. Of course he agreed. Like,
no, but what if he didn't sign off on it, but then he agrees with it anyway?
He's
still fuck it.
Nah, you're a player of a big team. You're being disrespectful to the players that are on your team. You're being disrespectful to the fans. You need to come out and
100% he is.
You need to come out and say where you stand with it. The thing about Pogba is he's a bit of an enigma for me because I think you love that word. Go on, guys. Thesaurus it. It's amazing. But I think the geezer is.
It's not that big a word.
It's not that big a word. But I think the geezer, but I used it in the right context. I think the geezer is one of those players where he's an absolute star player, but does he prefer being in the, and I know a lot of guys dig him out for this, but does he like the lifestyle of a football player or is he an absolute winner? Because if he's an absolute winner, you don't come out and say these stuff. Like that's the difference between a LeBron James. I know this is a different sport, but that's the difference between a LeBron James and a James Harden right now. Because James Harden right now is partying because he wants out of his contract in Houston, catching coronavirus. You're the leader of the team. You go there, and if Paul Pogba, you're the best player in that team, you shut your mouth, you're getting paid a decent wage, you shut your mouth and you show up on the pitch. You should have shown up tonight. Do you know what I mean? It's disrespectful. Because how many people love to play football? You lot still play 11-a-side and all that stuff. How many people would die to be in Paul Pogba's position? And he's dicking around like that.
True.
It's so disrespectful.
It's true.
I would never have him in my club, to be honest.
But it depends what his goals are. I mean, if I'm looking at it from a Paul Pogba point of view and I want to leave and I don't care, then it's like, well, I have to do what I got to do because the club's going to hold me ransom. Now, if I keep my mouth shut and I do everything the club says and then I don't get my move, then what? I'm just a prick, essentially.
Yeah, you signed the contract. No one forces you to sign a contract.
Graham Souness absolutely loves Coach Murray's take on that.
Do you know what it is though? But the thing is, like, you signed the contract. Nobody forced you to sign the contract. You decided to come back.
No, I get that.
He was dancing all that stuff, Adidas, whatever. You were meant to be the marquee signing. And you know what?
No,
you've not lived up to the hype, Paul Pogba. And even though
it's not black and white like that. I don't agree with that.
I understand what you're saying, Alex. But what I'm saying to yourself is this: this guy's won a World Cup. He led for it. He was amazing in that final. So you got the ability. So why are you not showing up for your team?
Because he doesn't want to play for them anymore.
But I'm not coming at he should do it for Manchester United, Man United. I'm talking about you should do it for your players that you play for. Like the team that you're in, you need to be a team player. You need to be a leader. You need to
that is doing it for Man United.
Nah, because he wouldn't have to let his agent sign off on something just before a big game. That must have crushed, be focused on the game. Be focused on the game. This is the biggest night in probably Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's career.
No, I get that.
Disrespectful in my opinion, man. And I love Paul Pogba. I would say Paul Pogba played for Liverpool on ability alone, but not with his character.
Wherever Paul Pogba does end up going, Alex, what if you were the coach of the team that Pogba was coming to? Where would you play him? What's his best position? Would you say?
Just what strictly tactically are we talking here, or
tactically? Where would you play him to get the best out of him?
Well, arguably he had his best seasons when he was at Juve before he went to United, and then obviously under Jose. So when he had that sort of left-sided midfield role, when he didn't have too much, I guess, defensive responsibility on him, and he had someone to sweep up, he's good enough to kind of play wherever in the midfield, in my opinion. As long as he's motivated, you can get whatever you need out of him, whether it is in the box-to-box role or in the number 10 or in slightly left to it. He's got the ability to kind of do everything. It is just, can you get him motivated? So it's more on the not on the. I guess it's not a tactical side with Paul Pogba. It's the psychological side. Can you get him motivated? What can you get of him out of a person as a leader? Will he be able to motivate his teammates? Will he be able to stay out of the limelight? And unfortunately, everything we say about Paul Pogba is not football related. So if I was a manager, I generally wouldn't want him in my team just for that alone, because he brings so much stigma behind him. He's got so much ability. He's probably one of the top 5 players in the Premier League in general anyway, off ability alone. But unfortunately, football's not like that. So if he is pushing for a move and I'm, let's say, Ronald Koeman or Zidane or or Thomas Tuchel, I don't want that guy anywhere near my team, you know, whether he is top 5 players in the Prem, because he's just, the perception of him anyway is that he's not going to make the dressing room a good one. Whether it's him or his agent doing fuckeries, whatever it is, I don't know. It just, yeah, unfortunately for Pogba, there's just so much negativity about him at the moment, and there's nothing to do with football. So it's a shame. It's a big shame for him.
Fair enough, fair enough. Josh, any final thoughts on Pogba, where he might end up, or what's going to happen to him for the rest of the season?
I just hope he keeps his head down, because like ability alone, like Alex said, Paul Pogba was one of the best midfielders on the planet. Just ability alone, he's so fantastic. Like almost like Patrick Vieira, like, do you know what I mean? He's got a pass in him. He can do everything.
More finesse than Vieira as well.
Exactly, he can do everything, and it's just, and I've seen him do it. It's not like we've not seen him do it. We've seen him do it in a World Cup final where, like he dragged France into that final. As cool as Mbappe is and stuff like that, it was Pogba doing it. As cool as Griezmann, it was Pogba that dragged them through it. I think Paul Pogba needs a midfield to build around him, and I don't think Manchester United have bothered to do that, or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hasn't bothered to do that. And again, like I said, look, I'm not blaming Paul Pogba for how the circumstances have come about. I think he played amazing under Mourinho, but Mourinho likes to break players, and Pogba wasn't having it. And then I think ever since then, he's not had a world-class manager to sort of coach him. And that's what Paul Pogba needs. And he needs a team to be built around him. Bruno Fernandes has come in. Bruno Fernandes is so overrated. And I've said this time and time again, and he's just proved it again tonight. When your big players need to show up, yeah, he scored a penalty, but that's all he does. He scores penalties. Then he does these Hollywood passes. Mate, Manchester United is an absolute shambles. They should have built around Paul Pogba, and they didn't. So
why did I say in Van de Beek? I know you're going to move it. Sorry, just before. Why did they sign that guy? He plays like essentially the same position as Bruno Fernandes, right? So why did they sign him? It's a shambles. It's a shambles. But yeah, go on, Louis. What's the next topic?
I think final words. I guess we'll see what happens to Manchester United the rest of the season, and hopefully we'll get to see the best out of Paul Pogba, whether it is at United or at another club.
Yes,
guys,
indeed.
Sadly, the PSG and who played the Turkish team Basaksehir, sorry, I've probably butchered that, was abandoned tonight.
Besiktas.
No, I don't think it was Besiktas.
No, it's something else.
It's
not a Turkish team.
Damn.
Yeah, different Turkish team. Obviously, this is unconfirmed, but from what I've read, the fourth official has sort of, when describing Dembaba, used a bit, what would be considered a derogatory term, which was called out by Dembaba and the coach, one of the coaches or the backroom staff at the Turkish team. The Turkish club Basaksehir, then their players have then walked off the pitch, and in solidarity, PSG's players, led by Neymar and Mbappe, have also walked off the pitch, and that was towards the back end of the first half, and they never came back to the pitch to restart the game. Somewhat a bit sad, really, the way it's all played out. A step in the right direction, though, Alex, do you think, in terms of the constant fight against racism, even within football?
Yeah, 100%. It's good that the players stood together as well on it. I mean, I feel so sorry for players when they have to go through stuff like this, man. I'm just tired of hearing these stories. I'm not tired in a sense I don't want to hear it, because if there is any sort of racism towards you, you should speak up about it and let people know and let the world know, because it shouldn't happen, essentially. Just tired for the players that they have to go through stuff like this. I'll keep mine kind of short a bit on this, because I'll let Josh kind of have the floor on something like this, especially when it's to do with black players. So yeah, it's good that what the players have done, what they've done, and it's definitely something to obviously stand up on.
Yep.
Josh?
Obviously, this is something we've discussed in previous episodes. Josh, do you want to air your thoughts on this one?
I'm just not that surprised. I'm really not that surprised. I mean, it's one of those
Yeah,
things
it's
where
unfortunate.
it's just all these institutions, whether it's football, whether it's teaching, whether it's schools, whether it's the police. Teaching and schools are the same thing. Whether it's police or whether it's some the workplace, I'm not surprised. It's all a lads' club, isn't it? At the end of the day, and UEFA are the biggest criminals in all of it all, because essentially it's like they would want, like, what happened when Neymar had his thing? I think it was another European game. It might have just been a French game. I think it might have been a European game actually. But when Neymar was going through his thing, like everyone was trying to make excuses for it. Like football doesn't ever want to have these conversations in black and white, and because UEFA likes to expand and get these referees from Romania who have a totally different view. I'm not saying all Romanians are like this, but how many Romanians see black people on a day-to-day basis? Probably not a lot. Let's be honest about it. So I'm not surprised. I think it's brilliant that the players had decided to walk off the pitch together. I think that's very powerful. And like, all the black players need to understand this, like, just because you kick ball and just because you make millions of pounds doesn't stop a referee who probably doesn't make even a third of your money from seeing you from something less than human. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't stop that. And that's the madness of the world today. You could be super rich and they still see you as nothing else. Like, that guy doesn't make as much money as Demba Ba, and he still saw him as something less than whatever. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those ones, guys, where I just feel football isn't going to make a strong stance on anything. They might get a fine, they might get a ban, but that's not going to help. They should be educated. I'd rather them not get a fine or put that money into education, because that's important. They need to understand. Millwall fans, you need to understand what it's all about. We're not saying black lives are better or black lives are more superior. We're saying that black lives matter at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why would you boo that? You have to be a bit psycho to boo that. Do you know what I mean? Because if you see someone dying, do you go past them and go to the healthier person? Because that's how black people feel. Our house is on fire right now. Oh, but the other houses matter because they're not on fire. No, you go to the house that's on fire, you idiots. Do you know what I mean? It's all mental, guys. But like I said, there is very much so, because I had a chance to speak to a professional football player last week, or a former professional football player, and there is a bond in football between players and stuff like that. So hopefully it does get sorted out. Hopefully this is the generation that actually makes a substantial stand. That's all we can hope for, really.
Definitely, definitely a positive message coming out of that game. That the players won't be, they won't stand for this sort of stuff. So yeah, hopefully it continues, and it's definitely a step in the right direction for football. Guys, moving on, Premiership this weekend, big game. Again, we're going to be talking about Manchester United, but it is the biggest game of the weekend, the Manchester Derby. I think obviously I already posed the question to Josh, but Alex, if Solskjaer loses out, is he gone, or is he already sort of kind of a dead man walking already halfway down the plank?
Nah, not yet, man. They're not in crisis. They just had a couple bad results. They've had a bad result. I don't think he's in crisis. I mean, City, they arguably need this win as well, man. Where is City in the Premier now? I don't look further down too far, you know.
I think they're
high up.
roundabout where Manchester United are, to be fair. I think they're quite similar in points.
Behind Manchester United in 7th.
They're a point, did you say?
Behind Man United in 7th.
Yeah, man. So arguably City need this result a lot more than what United do, considering their title aspirations at the start of the season. So I think I guess because of the result of tonight, the pressure is a bit off Pep. But imagine United went through now and got their draw. All the pressure would be on Pep Guardiola at the moment. So I think they're under a bit more pressure, in my opinion. If I'm not the public looking in, if I'm just like, I'm purely in the game and I'm Man City, we have to win the game. If we want to stay in the title race, have to win the game. United, if they lose, arguably they can still get top 4. So it's not really too much of an issue. But you don't want to drop any more points behind the top if you're Man City.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Go on.
Josh, Liverpool have Fulham away. Brilliant performance on the weekend against Wolves. Do you want to touch on a few things on Liverpool since we are Liverpool fans and it's our pod?
Yeah, do you know what? Thank God we get to talk about Liverpool. Yeah, we did play.
And Firmino played number 9.
And Bobby looked outstanding in that game. But I've got to give a lot of praise to our midfield, actually. Gini Wijnaldum, Jordan Henderson. Gini's played almost every single minute of the season, and he's been absolutely superb. I hope we give him another contract. His goal was absolutely stunning. Henderson, I mean, wow, what a player. I mean, so underrated. And I feel like he's just matured in age. Like, before he was just that, it was just the leadership of him. But now I'm seeing him pinging balls. And I'm like, wow, when did Jordan Henderson have this in his game? Like, I think we discussed it in our group chat. He's got like these 7 out of 10 games throughout the entire season so far. And when he plays, our win percentage is ridiculous when he plays. Like, it's so much higher than when he doesn't. So I heard Ox is back as well. Ox is back to full fitness. The fans being back was great. Let's go smash Fulham now. Let's go lay down a marker. I look at our December fixtures and they're quite good to us, to be fair. Looking at the other teams, with the Manchester derby this weekend, can I just touch on that really quickly? I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to win that game. I'll be honest with you. Somehow, every time Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got his back against the wall, he pulls it out. I don't think Manchester United will sack him, but I do think the financial pain of losing and not getting Champions League money, especially in this climate that we're in. I know Manchester United are a super big club, but it's going to affect them somehow. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, but the football being back has been amazing. Arsenal, can we talk about Arsenal just really quickly?
I was going to move on to Arsenal.
Go on then, Louis, take over.
Yeah, so obviously, Alex, Arsenal's currently sitting in 15th, lost their last 2 league games, I believe.
Man.
We talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sort of at the wheel and losing control. What is happening at the Emirates Stadium?
It's crazy, isn't it? How many games they lost in a row? Like 5 or 6?
Something like that.
I don't know. It's been a shitload, man. So a lot of people were like, I've watched the game. Actually, I didn't watch the second half live, but I watched some of it back. And a lot of Arsenal fans were like, "Oh, second half performance was good. It was good." But like, I don't think it was good. Like they played into Tottenham's game essentially. Tottenham knew they were gonna, Jose Mourinho's side. He knows how to sit back in a low block and defend the lead. I don't remember Arsenal like pressuring the goal or peppering shots or having like really good chances on goal. I just remember them having a lot of possession, passing the ball around a bit, which is basically what Jose Mourinho wanted. So, I mean, they're in arguably more shambles, in my opinion, than Man United. I expected a lot from Arsenal this season. In a sense, I didn't think that they would get top 4, but I did think they'd be challenging at least. And where are they? 15th, did you say, or 16th?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, they're in a relegation battle. Oh man, I mean, in the previous pod, didn't someone say that they take Aubameyang over Salah as well? And what's Aubameyang done this season? Jesus.
Signed the contract and then he stopped scoring goals. He became a defender.
That was it. So I don't know what's gone wrong with Arsenal, man. I mean, and it's what's weird. It's weird as well because they had a system, but now all of a sudden that system just looks like it's falling apart. And apparently Thomas Partey was supposed to be like this big revelation, but I mean he's good. Don't get me wrong. I've watched him play and he's a decent player, but
very tidy.
Yeah, but like I don't know what are they missing? Ozil? They're missing that creativity.
I think so.
Where do you put him in this? But where do you put him in this team? They play 3 at the back with fullbacks. You got Aubameyang left as well. Lacazette in the middle there. Who did it? And Willian out wide. Where do you play him?
Yeah, I just think there's a disconnect from the central midfield when it comes to Arsenal. Their central midfield players, Ceballos, Xhaka, they're not good enough. It remains to be seen if Partey is I feel he is slightly of a higher standard than those two, and until they can get him playing more consistently at this level, we probably won't see the best of Arsenal really. But Josh, I was going to ask, just out of the 2 clubs, Arsenal, Manchester United, which club is an easier fix for getting into the top 4? Would you say?
Well, Man United. They got more points on the board.
Now, let's say you had them at the start of the season. Not now, because it's too easy now, isn't it? You just pick United.
At the start of the season,
These squads,
I still pick Man United. I would still pick Man United. I mean,
with Thomas Partey at Arsenal.
yeah. They still had David Luiz. David Luiz is costing you points. No, but Arsenal's problem right now is that. Do you know what's good for Arteta? He got instant success. That's good for him. That's really good for him because that should give him enough time.
I like how you corrected that, but you didn't correct the fact that you said his name wrong. Still.
Don't care for his name. Until he gets top 4, I won't pronounce his name right. And that's the thing. I think Arsenal, it's strange that they're not scoring goals. Like, there's so much lack of creativity. And they just spunked, 72 million on Pepe? What a terrible signing that is. And that's going to keep them from... That's going to keep them stopped from spending money. If they got our guy and Partey in the middle, this whole season would be different. Yeah. But they lack creativity. And nobody fears Arsenal anymore. Everyone goes up against Arsenal thinking they might win a game. Easily. I think they're in trouble. I think they're in a lot of trouble.
They've got no identity as well, innit?
Yeah, no.
There's no identity.
No.
Before, when he first came, they had the identity, you know what, they defend well, they'll beat you on the counter kind of thing, they'll break quickly. But now it's like, what are they? And they don't know.
And they don't have the quality to get them out there, whatever they're in. Like Manchester United, there's a lot of quality in their team. They could win you a game. I just think Oli needs to play the correct players. Pogba needs to start. But
Aubameyang's not the quality anymore, no?
Aubameyang is the quality, but you have to be able to feed him. Salah's got freaking Trent and Robertson all day, every day. What do these guys have? What do they have?
He was doing it last season. Apparently it's good enough.
A vegan, Oxford reading fashionista at right back. Come on, man. That guy's...
He's vegan. Is Bellerin vegan?
He is vegan. What a loser. I'm joking, Steph. I'm joking.
I apologise to all vegans out there.
Get some meat.
Josh, the Chelsea FC to you. What's your reaction?
Say that again, sorry?
I say Chelsea FC to you. Frank Lampard, what's your reaction?
White privilege? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No, look, Chelsea, they're not, obviously he's not going to get sacked by Christmas, but do you know what? They've got a really good squad. But all their players, I look at every single one of their players, and I just think they ain't there yet. They're just not good enough yet. Like, you look at Ziyech, who's injured now. You look at the American brother, who's always injured. Werner's missed a bag of chances. Yeah, I just...
See that chance he missed from 2 yards?
Oh my days.
Gosh. And he's in my fantasy team. Oh, fuming.
Yeah.
This guy missed so many chances, man. Thought he was like that, Josh. What's going on?
He joined the wrong club. And that's what it comes down to. I think Chelsea are just... they're young, innit? They're young and they need a little bit of time, I think. They won't challenge. I'm worried about Tottenham. I'm more worried about Tottenham than I am Chelsea. Fair
enough. Alex, we sort of since the start of the season have been saying that Chelsea, as Josh said, they won't threaten. They don't have the defence. They're looking a bit more solid these days. Will they be there or thereabouts towards the end of the season, or will this form tail off?
I did predict that they would start really well, but I'd said that they wouldn't finish top 4. It's looking likely now, in a sense, that they would finish top 4 because United have been so bad. Not so bad, sorry, but United haven't been firing on all cylinders. Arsenal have been pretty terrible. So their only challenges for top 4 are really United at this point. If you think City, Spurs, and Liverpool are going to be top 3.
Leicester.
No, but challenging, man. They're going to challenge. I don't think Leicester are going to challenge properly. They challenged a bit last season, obviously to the end, but I don't think that they're going to be there, if I'm being honest. I think they'll come. I think right now they'll get top 4, but they won't challenge. So I'll change my top 4. United out, Chelsea in. Chelsea will get top 4.
Fair enough. Okay, we'll revise these top 4s just before Christmas, I think. Guys, fantasy football. I've had a stinker, first time in a while.
Look at this guy.
I see that big. I've never seen Josh look so happier.
One good week in 12. Look at him.
Guys,
Oh,
who's
man.
captaining this week? If I just run through the games really quickly, Leeds at home to West Ham, Wolves, Villa, Newcastle, West Brom, the Manchester Derby, Everton, Chelsea, Southampton, Sheffield United, Palace, v Spurs, Fulham, Liverpool, Arsenal, Burnley, Leicester, Brighton. Obviously, the one that stands out for me is Mo Salah away.
Mohamed Salah, yeah.
Yeah, I put him in my team.
There's only one captain.
Can Harry Kane and Heung-Min Son carry on their form, guys?
Probably.
Who is Spurs playing?
They
Crystal
have
Palace.
Palace away.
Palace just won 5-1 though. Palace away as well. That's a good game. That's a good game.
Have Palace got fans?
Yeah.
Palace, yeah.
Oh,
they're
that's a
fans.
tough fixture.
That's a tough fixture. That is.
We know. Palace
Hopefully
away
for a
is probably
draw.
one of the hardest fixtures.
I'm hoping for a draw in that one. Yeah.
No, but I got Son and Kane in my fantasy team. Oh.
2-2 draw.
Cheeky one for you. Southampton at home to Sheffield United. Danny Ings is back fit, so
Ward Prowse is in my team.
I love Ward Prowse.
And if Calvert-Lewin doesn't do well, I'll swap him up for Danny Ings.
What, this week? What, are you going to
No,
leave him in one more week?
I'm going to leave him in one more week. They've got, who they got? Chelsea. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin can do stuff against Chelsea's defence.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. They're not the best aerially.
No.
Actually, they are. What am I talking about? Zuma, Rudiger, good defenders in the air.
David Silva, yeah. But no, we'll see. Everton love a big game. I feel they rise for the big games, but they play poor against the little teams.
We'll see.
On Friday night, we've got a bit of a cracker. Leeds United versus West Ham. Bielsa versus Moyes. Could be a good game.
Oh, it's a Friday fixture, so I got to do my fantasy team by Friday.
Yes, you do. Don't forget.
I forgot my team last week. This is the problem that I have. Calvin Phillips, though, Josh, the new Paul Scholes, eh?
Yeah. When he joins Liverpool, keep that same energy. That's what I'm saying. Keep that same energy.
Whoa, I'm just saying.
When he joins Liverpool and does his thing.
Where's he joining Liverpool? You got the inside info.
Maybe.
Fair enough shit.
Thank you very much tonight. We have reacted to the Champions League, Paul Pogba, Premiership football games, racism, unfortunately, in the PSG game, and fantasy football. To anyone who's got this one still watching, do follow us on Sick of the Pundits. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the usual social medias. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscribe on YouTube. Josh, any final words?
Tottenham fans, I'm sorry we didn't talk about you guys. Literally, you lot have had a cracking season and we just didn't talk about you. So I am so sorry. Come on, you Spurs. Take care, guys.
Take care.